Biography of Princess Diana. Chapter 1. Early Life and Family. Diana Frances Spencer was born on July 1st, 1961, at Park House, Sandringham, Norfolk, England. She was the fourth of 5 children of John Spencer, Viscount Althorp, and Frances Shand Kidd. But the problem was, despite being born into British nobility, her early life was far from a fairy tale. When Diana was just 7, her parents' marriage fell apart, leading to a bitter divorce. The custody battle left emotional scars on young Diana, as she and her siblings were caught in the middle of their parents' disputes. Diana grew up at the family estate in Althorp, where she developed a deep love for children and animals. Unlike the strict upbringing expected in aristocratic families, she was playful, kind-hearted, and full of dreams. But the problem was, her shy nature often made her feel out of place in the elite circles she was born into. Despite this, she showed a natural warmth that made people gravitate toward her. Her school years were marked by both struggle and discovery. She attended Riddlesworth Hall School and later joined West Heath Girls' School. But academics were not her strong suit, and she left school at 16 without excelling in studies. However, she had a unique charm and an innate ability to connect with people. After finishing school, she moved to London, where she took up jobs as a nanny and a kindergarten assistant, finding joy in working with children. This phase of her life was simple and happy, until destiny led her into the royal spotlight. Chapter 2. The Fairytale Engagement. Diana's life took a dramatic turn in 1980 when she was introduced to Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne. But the problem was, their paths had crossed before, when Charles was dating her older sister, Sarah. At the time, Diana was just a teenager, but years later, when Charles saw her again at a royal event, he was charmed by her innocence and grace. Their relationship quickly gained media attention, and speculation about a royal engagement spread like wildfire. The engagement was officially announced on February 24th, 1981. Diana, at just 19 years old, was suddenly thrust into the global spotlight. She became an instant celebrity, with photographers following her every move. But the problem was, behind the fairy tale romance, cracks were already forming. Charles, 12 years older than Diana, remained emotionally distant. Rumours of his continued affection for Camilla Parker Bowles loomed over their relationship, creating doubts even before the wedding. Despite the unease, Diana embraced her new role with optimism. She wore a stunning blue sapphire engagement ring, which would later become an iconic symbol. She gave her first television interview alongside Charles, where she famously said, "Whatever love means," hinting at the uncertainties in their relationship. Nevertheless, the world was captivated by her beauty and charm, and preparations for the royal wedding began in full swing. Chapter 3. The Royal Wedding. On July 29th, 1981, millions of people across the world tuned in to watch the grand wedding of Diana and Charles at St. Paul's Cathedral. But the problem was, while the world saw a fairy tale, Diana already sensed that something was missing. As she walked down the aisle in her iconic ivory silk gown with a 25-foot train, she appeared radiant, yet behind the smiles, she was anxious about the life awaiting her. The ceremony was one of the most extravagant in history, attended by royals, celebrities, and political leaders. Diana's natural grace and elegance stole the show, making her an instant global sensation. But the problem was, despite the public celebrations, private doubts lingered. Diana later admitted that she had discovered a bracelet Charles had designed for Camilla before the wedding, confirming her worst fears. After the wedding, the couple embarked on their honeymoon, traveling to various destinations, including Gibraltar and Balmoral Castle. But instead of growing closer, Diana felt more isolated. Charles, deeply involved in his royal duties and personal interests, often left her feeling alone. The cracks in their marriage, though hidden from the public eye, were beginning to deepen. Chapter 4: Motherhood and Public Life. Diana found her true joy in motherhood. On June 21st, 1982, she gave birth to her first son, Prince William, and 2 years later, on September 15th, 1984, she welcomed Prince Harry. She was a devoted mother, determined to give her sons a normal childhood despite their royal status. Unlike previous royals, she broke tradition by personally taking care of her children, ensuring they experienced life beyond palace walls. Her popularity soared as she embraced her role as the people's princess. She had a unique ability to connect with people, whether it was shaking hands with AIDS patients at a time when misinformation about the disease was rampant, or hugging a terminally ill child. But the problem was, the more the public loved her, the more tension arose within the royal family. Her emotional approach to duty clashed with the monarchy's reserved nature, making her an outsider in her own home. At the same time, her marriage to Charles was crumbling. Their differences became irreconcilable, and rumors of infidelity spread. The media fueled the drama, turning their private struggles into public spectacle. Diana, deeply hurt, began seeking comfort elsewhere, leading to her own rumored relationships outside the marriage. Chapter 5: Separation and Scandals. By the early 1990s, the royal marriage had become unsustainable. Diana and Charles were living separate lives, and their strained relationship played out in the tabloids. The final blow came in '92 when Diana's tell-all biography written by Andrew Morton revealed her struggles with depression, eating disorders, and loneliness within the royal family. In December '92, British Prime Minister John Major announced that Charles and Diana had officially separated. Though they remained legally married, their relationship was beyond repair. Diana continued her royal duties, but the problem was she was now seen more as a celebrity than a royal, which only widened the rift between her and the monarchy. Despite the turmoil, Diana focused on her humanitarian efforts. She traveled across the world, advocating for causes close to her heart, including landmine victims, children's welfare, and HIV/AIDS awareness. But the media frenzy surrounding her personal life often overshadowed her work, making it difficult for her to escape the drama. Chapter 6: The Final Years. In 1996, after much negotiation, Diana and Charles officially divorced. She lost her title of Her Royal Highness, but remained the beloved Princess Diana. She received a substantial settlement and was allowed to continue her charity work. The public saw her as a woman who had broken free from a suffocating marriage, ready to start a new chapter. She began dating Dodi Fayed, an Egyptian film producer and son of billionaire Mohammed Al Fayed. Their relationship was heavily scrutinized by the media, with constant speculation about their future. But the problem was, Diana was still struggling with her newfound independence, torn between enjoying her personal life and dealing with the relentless paparazzi. In the summer of 1997, Diana and Dodi vacationed on his family's yacht in the Mediterranean. Their romance became the headline of every newspaper, and their every move was tracked by photographers. Little did they know that this would be their last trip together. Chapter 7: The Tragic End. On the night of August 31st, 1997, tragedy struck. Diana and Dodi, along with their driver, Henry Paul, were chased by paparazzi in Paris. Their car crashed in the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, killing Dodi and Henri instantly. Diana was severely injured and was rushed to the hospital. But the problem was, despite doctors' efforts, she succumbed to her injuries a few hours later. The news of Diana's death shocked the world. Millions mourned the loss of the woman who had touched so many lives. Her funeral, held on September 6th, 97, was watched by over 2.5 billion people. The sight of young Prince William and Prince Harry walking behind their mother's coffin remains one of the most heartbreaking images in history. Even in death, Diana's legacy endured. She had redefined the role of a royal, making it more compassionate, human, and connected to the people. Her story remains a reminder that even in the most glamorous lives, real struggles exist, and kindness can leave an everlasting impact. Chapter 8: The World Mourns. The days following Diana's death were filled with grief and shock across the globe. But the problem was, the royal family's initial silence only intensified public anger. Many felt that the monarchy was too distant and failed to acknowledge the depth of the nation's sorrow. Flowers, letters, and candles covered the gates of Kensington Palace as people struggled to accept that their beloved people's princess was gone. On September 6th, 1997, Diana's funeral took place at Westminster Abbey. Over 2,000 guests, including world leaders and celebrities, attended the service, while more than 2.5 billion people watched on television. Elton John performed Candle in the Wind, a song rewritten in her honor, bringing many to tears. But the problem was, despite the grand farewell, the pain of her loss lingered, especially for Prince William and Prince Harry, who walked behind her coffin, their faces filled with sorrow. Diana was laid to rest on an island in the middle of the Oval Lake at Althorpe, her family estate. People continued to visit, leaving tributes for years. The tragedy forced the royal family to change, with Queen Elizabeth II addressing the nation in an unprecedented speech. Diana's death marked a turning point, showing that even the most traditional institutions had to listen to the people's emotions. Chapter 9: The Lasting Legacy. Despite her short life, Diana's impact remained powerful. She had redefined what it meant to be a royal, not just a figurehead, but someone who truly connected with the people. But the problem was, her work was sometimes overshadowed by her personal struggles. However, over time, her contributions to society became more recognized, proving that her influence went far beyond her title. Diana's humanitarian efforts continued to inspire change. Her work with landmine victims led to the International Mine Ban Treaty in 1997. Her advocacy for AIDS awareness helped remove the stigma surrounding the disease. Even after her passing, charities and organizations she supported carried on her mission, ensuring that her compassion lived on. Her greatest legacy, however, was seen in her sons. Prince William and Prince Harry grew up determined to honor their mother's memory. They continued her humanitarian efforts, speaking openly about mental health, rights, and the pressures of royal life. They ensured that Diana's warmth and empathy remained at the heart of the monarchy, shaping a new, more relatable royal family. Chapter 10. Remembering Diana. Decades after her death, Princess Diana is still one of the most beloved figures in history. Her story is retold in books, documentaries, and films, capturing both the triumphs and the tragedies of her life. But the problem was, with fame comes speculation. Conspiracy theories about her death continue to circulate, with many questioning the events of that fateful night in Paris. Her legacy is celebrated every year on the anniversary of her death. Statues, memorials, and foundations dedicated to her keep her spirit alive. In 21, on what would have been her 60th birthday, Prince William and Prince Harry unveiled a statue of their mother in Kensington Palace's sunken garden, a place she had loved. It was a reminder that despite everything, she would never be forgotten. Diana's life was a mix of fairy tale and tragedy, but one thing remained clear. She changed the world. She taught people that kindness, compassion, and love mattered more than status or wealth. Her story, though filled with heartbreak, is a testament to the power of humanity. Even in her absence, the world still feels her presence, proving that the people's princess will forever remain in the hearts of millions.